All right, so back then it was $83. Now it's $300. But if I wanted to know how many shares I could buy, well, if I got $3,000, I divide it by the net asset value, which is this right here. So it has the letter A by it. Okay, so that's pretty simple math. This is the amount of shares you can buy. So I just divide that out. Okay, and you could purchase 35.79 shares. So you would always round that down. You would buy 37 or 35 shares. That's how much your $3,000 would buy. Nowadays, your $3,000 would only buy, from that same company, I would divide it by 385. Now my $3,000 would only buy 7 shares. Okay, so not very many shares of this stock because it's way up. All right, now in order to figure out how much your investment is worth, okay, well, you use the same formula we used last week when we were doing compound interest. Okay? So this is the compound interest formula that pays once a year. So we're going to use compound interest formula that pays once a year. This is the one that is compounded yearly or annually. Okay, and we did these already. We did them last week. All right. Okay, so you take your principal, which in this case, 3,000. 1 plus the APR, we don't know it yet, and we're going to raise that to the third power. Okay, for the second one, we put in 3,000. 1 plus, don't know the APR, and this one is 5 years. Okay, now where you get these is you look under where it says performance, and right here where it says trailing returns, there's your 3-year average, which was 16%, and there's your 5-year average. And you would use that as your percentage. Okay, now in the example that I showed you here, in the stock quote, here's the 3-year percentage, and here's the 5-year. So this was not a good time because your money is shrinking. So this is negative 0.0919. It's shrinking. And then for the 5 years, it's negative 0.0183. So during this time, your money is actually shrinking, not getting bigger. Okay? All right. So to calculate that, you do the parentheses first. Hey, can you guys wait until I'm done? Then eat? You shouldn't even be eating, but you're going to do this first. So I go 1 plus 1 plus negative 0.0919. Okay, then I do my exponent, which is 3 years. And then I multiply that by my investment, which is 3,000. So you can see if I was to, when I check my account, I'm like, what the heck happened? I had $3,000. Now I only got $2,200. So I remember back in 2008 when I looked at my retirement, it dropped like $7,000. I was like, holy cats. Now it came back up, but during that year, everybody took a beating. All right, if I did this next one, let's see, we do the parentheses first. So I'm going to do that first. Then I'm going to do the exponent second. And then I'm going to multiply by 3,000 third. Alrighty, 1 plus 0.0183, whoops, negative, times 3,000, and now my investment, it's coming back, but it's still not where it started. Okay, so this was not a good time for mutual funds. Okay, you lost your investment shrank. You don't want it to shrink. Now, what you got to keep in mind is this will historically come back. So whenever you're in the stock market, things go up and go down, but over the long run, things will go up. You just have to be patient. All right. So here's another stock, big mutual fund, the Vanguard. It's Vanguard Long-Term Bond Index. Okay, Vanguard Long-Term Bond Index. There it is. Okay, long-term. Where'd it go? Right there. So if I invested in this mutual fund, it's a lot cheaper. It's only $100 a share. Okay. And see, it's not paying as much, 7% over 3 years, 5% over 5 years. And if we look at the summary, well, let's see what's in this one. What companies? If we look at the holdings. Okay, now, when you look at bonds, guys, if you buy a bond, remember, a bond is you're loaning a government or a company money, and they're agreeing to pay you back what you loaned them and a little bit extra. Okay, now, how you know if a bond is a good bond or a bad bond? Usually a bond that is backed by the U.S. government is very safe. Then you have, these are rating systems. AAA bonds, AA, single A, triple B, double B, single B, and then there's ones that are below that, C, and then there's ones that are even called junk bonds. So the higher the letter, the better the bond, the safer it is. So AAA bonds, if your rating is AAA, that's a pretty safe bet. Double A is not so good, single A, and then as you go down the letters, B's aren't as good as A's. Okay? And you can see this, they don't have any of their investments in anything below a triple B. Okay? So these are, all of their stuff is in triple A's and looks like triple B's. 30%, 40%. Okay? And The top holding is U.S. Treasury bonds, which are very safe. Okay? You're not going to lose money on that. Okay, so let's calculate how you would do on this one. So if you had 2,500, all right, we could buy a lot more because it's not nearly as expensive. And back when this was taken, it was only $10 a share. So I could buy a lot more. Okay, $10.82. That's called the NAV. The NAV is just the cost. Okay, so we're going to be able to get a lot of shares. 2,500 divided by 1082. We could get 231 shares. Because it's only $10 a share. Okay. Then to get the different worths, okay, so if I took this fund, took my 2,500, and I invested it 5 years ago. So then I go up here, here's the interest that I earned for 5 years. So that's going to be 0.0482. And then the second one is simply 2,500. And this one is the 10-year average. So if I go up here, that's how much my money grew. 0.0619. And now all it is run it through your calculator. So that's second, and that's third. Okay. Here we go. 1 plus exponent 5 multiplied by 2,500 third. So now we're happy again because we're making some money. Our mutual fund is growing. So mutual funds, guys, are just another way that you can get involved in the stock market, and it's typically a little bit safer than just investing in one stock. 1 plus 1, 5. And you've always got somebody looking after it for you. Now they charge you for that. That's how the companies make their money. Okay, so 455,802. So things are looking up because it's now growing again. All right. So what you got for